Want to retire early? Well, that's what people are doing in the FIRE movement community. They are using the 4% rule to retire early because it tells them exactly how much they need to retire. So watch this video until the very end so that you can figure out how much you'll need to retire. I'm Tiffany Thomas with wealthytiffany.com. Hit that like button and the subscribe button to get more great content about building your wealth to become financially free, and we are going to dive right in. I was able to use this 4% rule to figure out how much I would need to retire early, and that's exactly what I did. I retired from my 9-to-5 job at age 36 and became financially free at age 38. And I realize there is a discrepancy there, but that's not what this video is about. So what is the 4% rule? The 4% rule is also called the safe withdrawal rate. It states that you can withdraw 4% of your money in your portfolio and never run out of money. What? Never run out of money? That's right, that's what I said. I know this might sound too good to be true, but it is true. There has been some studies that have been done. One is the Trinity study, and the other one is by William Bengen. I'm not sure if I'm saying his last name right, but I will link to his study in the description below so you can check it out if you want more details about it. Essentially, they ran different scenarios about investing in the stock market for long periods of time. And the studies showed that if you were to withdraw 4% of your money every year, that you would not run out of money, which is amazing. So that is where the 4% rule came from, also known as the safe withdrawal rate. And these studies also showed that it would last even longer than a 30-year period, which is important for those of us that are retiring early. So now that we've covered what the 4% rule is, let's talk about how it applies to you. So let's figure out your retirement number, your financial freedom number. And it's very simple to do. All you're going to do is take your annual expenses, the amount that you spend each year, and multiply that number by 25. And if you need help in figuring out what your annual expenses will be in retirement, I have another video on that, which I will leave a link to below in the description and right up here. Once you know what your annual expenses are and you multiply that number by 25, that is the amount that you will need to have invested in order to retire without running out of money. For example, if your annual expenses are $40,000, you take $40,000, multiply that by the number 25, and you get $1 million. So you would need $1 million in your portfolio that you have invested in order to retire. Once you have that, then you can retire, or you can continue to keep working, but you wouldn't need to keep working. When should you care about the 4% rule? Well, right now. The 4% rule will help you determine how much you're going to need to retire. So it will give you a goal to work toward with your money. And it's important that we have goals, especially money goals, so that we can control our money instead of our money controlling us. If we aren't working towards something, then we'll probably just spend our money on whatever and then think, oh, where did all of my money go? And we don't want that happening. So figure out what your financial freedom number is, what that number is that you'll need to retire, and start working toward that. Start investing your money so that you can retire when you want to, or at least have that option to retire. Comment below if you have figured out what your financial freedom number is, if you have done the math and you know what you will be working toward in order to retire. And why should you care about the 4% rule? Because there is a lot of information out there that is inaccurate and it's not based on really anything. There's people saying, oh, you're going to need $1 million to retire. No, you're going to need $3 million to retire. Or even the best, you'll never be able to retire because you can never make enough money in order to do that. Okay, all of those are not true. You need to sit down and figure out what that number is for yourself, and the 4% rule helps you do that. And this is not something that is the end-all, be-all. This is going to work 100% of the time. So make sure and be a little bit flexible. But this is an excellent place to start, especially if you understand the history behind it and realize that people have been retiring based on this 4% rule. So it has worked for people and it continues to work for people. And if you are flexible, then it is going to work for you as well. And by being flexible, I mean, don't take your fancy vacation the year that the stock market tanks. Wait another year. or, get a little side hustle that you really enjoy and just bring in a little bit extra cash. There's different things you can do to ensure that this 4% rule will really work for you. And if you are flexible, then you're not going to be stressed about it working for you. There is a great post that I read by Mr. Money Mustache. He is really popular in the FIRE community, and he titled it, "Retire, Then Get Rich." And his point is, once you have that number in your portfolio, your annual expenses multiplied by 25, then you can retire if you want to from that exhausting corporate job that you didn't really enjoy. And then you can pick up your favorite passion hobby and make a little side income and continue to grow that investment over time. So you can still retire and then get rich. You can continue to increase your income, but do it in a joyful way, in a way that you find enjoyable, basically. Just something that you are passionate about, and you can make a little extra income. And if you are investing that money that you're making, you won't have to pull out that 4% every year. You could pull out maybe 3% and watch that money grow over time. And if you're really not comfortable with the 4% rule, you could play it even safer and withdraw only 3% of your money instead of that 4%. And that would really ensure that you would not run out of money in retirement. So make sure you feel comfortable with the investment that you're making and the money that you are taking out of your investments. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about is where should you have your money invested in order to utilize this 4% rule. And this is in the stock market. And you need to make sure that you have at least 50% in stocks, and then you can have the other 50% in bonds. It's even better if you can have 75% in stocks and 25% in bonds, because stocks are going to give you that higher return over the long term. So if you are retiring early, you are going to need to continue to have that wealth build in your portfolio. So if you have more in stocks, then you're going to be getting higher returns. It can be a simple stock fund, a fund that has a whole bunch of stocks inside of it. And you can continue to invest in that over time. And then with bonds, if you feel comfortable investing in individual bonds and certain types of bonds, you can do that. Or you can do one simple bond fund. And I personally like Vanguard's Total Bond Market Fund along with their Total Stock Market Fund. So you can pick whichever is comfortable for you, but make sure you have that higher percentage in stocks so that your portfolio can continue to grow over time. And if you are still worried about running out of money in retirement, you can check out my other video, 4 ways to make sure that you do not run out of money in retirement. I will leave the link below and right above me. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get more great content about becoming financially free. And don't forget to hit the little bell to get notified on when I post new videos. And if you really want to make sure you are going to retire early or become financially free at a young age, check out my free course, A Beginner's Guide to Financial Freedom at 40. I will leave the link below in the description. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.